And the very first fight he's going to do, actually, you will see Simba in use. And he's pausing there so that the summon loads while the enemies are not moving. It doesn't actually make it go faster, it only stops the enemies from moving, or else they will hit us while we're trying to let Simba's attack go off.
And the way Simba works is you hold down what is the reaction command with triangle, and meter builds, and Simba's great at dealing with these hordes of enemies. All Zetrus has to do is just store up one charge. He's waiting for all of them to come out of the ground because then it won't hit them all if they're still in the sand, and he can effectively just wipe out the 2 waves of Heartless very quickly.
The game actually could have crashed there if Simba jumped at the end. If Simba's still out at the end of that fight and he jumps, the game crashes. So, good luck so far. We're booting out Dolan because we don't really need him. And Aladdin's much stronger.
Yeah, the second half of this world relies like entirely on Aladdin dealing damage in order to have fights go fast.
Oh, we also grabbed our first...
Oh, what?
That was 100% Zetrus' fault. That was all anti-skill.
Oh.
We grabbed our first Mega Elixir in Aladdin's house, which is surprisingly early in the game to get one. Here you basically just put a Jungle Key on, which is another key.
That's okay, because there's a really quick backup you can do for that. That's like a couple of frames, maybe, that you have to mash that out. But because of the backup that Zetrus just found randomly one night, gloriously, you can just jump at it once that pot's out of the way, once you kill him the first time in, and he can just grab it from there. Again, that's trying to get in before the blue command menu turns into a red command menu. Oddly enough, well, not oddly enough, but in Cage 1, that's completely free to do, the original. In this version, because of the lag, it's just becomes impossible.
Got bad luck there. A random enemy called the Black Fungus spawn in this room. It doesn't always, but when it does, you just have to leave because they are impossible to kill.
And once again, another room where you're trying to just clear out the enemies. If you drop down there, a bunch more enemies will spawn and you have to leave. But by killing them, you can get blue menu and then just unlock this keyhole. So you can already see Agrabah is definitely the most frustrating world throughout the entire run in 1.5. Kind of almost in any difficulty. And right there, he's grabbing a Mega Ether. Again, just anything that's going to give you MP in this run is very, very important to pick up. All right, who wants this fight?
I guess
I
I'll
don't
just...
think anybody wants this fight, ever.
It is
Never this fight.
arguably the worst fight in the run, called Pot Centipede, because it is an extremely poorly designed fight. There's enemies that can basically come out of the blue and one or two-shot you. You have a boss that can like two-shot you as well, and then you're surrounded by enemies constantly. And we have never really found a consistent strat at all to survive this fight or even have a fast fight.
Good luck, Zetrus.
Thanks. Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Godspeed.
Right here, he's going to try to separate them because that is going to prompt him to form back together and then leave the area. We don't want him to be stuck in here. And eventually, unless there's no pods around, he'll form back together, and now he's going to dash out. Zetrus is just trying his best to avoid the billions of enemies surrounding him.
You're gonna take a hit here, you can't avoid it.
Well, now, yeah. If it waits, for some reason when he's in that hallway, he effectively has a hurt box stored right there. So if Zetrus was too far on top of him, he would have been hit, but it wears off once he gets out of there.
Alright, so now that he formed back together, hopefully he'll run again. But then your party members
Aladdin knocked him apart.
He won't be guaranteed to run unless he has 2 pots on him, which now he does.
There we go.
Oh,
This is really
this is
good.
Extremely lucky.
Yeah,
Because his finisher
now,
hit twice
with
now.
only one pot spider, you can see his finisher and his second hit are hitting both of them. Oh, please.
Now he won't break apart though, so it's pretty free. The only downside is
Yes.
good job.
Amazing luck.
So inconvenient for us, they pretty much spawn us wherever we finish the fight, and he was able to make it into the center room, but unfortunately not the next one because we killed him in the original room. We don't control where he goes, it's just a random fight. But it was a pretty smooth fight because that fight can kill you incredibly easy.
Speaking of fights that can kill you incredibly easy.
Here's now this arguably second worst fight in the round.
Back
Some
to
will
back.
still consider this the worst one too. So
Yeah, I think
back to
Biz
back.
actually does consider, he thinks this is worse. Anybody who played this game remembers how frustrating this fight is. Thankfully, a consistent strat for the opening of the fight has been found. He has to make 5 really quick dodge rolls up here to get up on top of the Tiger Head, and then actually get 1 hit on him from behind, which for some reason changes his AI to where now he's not swinging his head around, which allows him to, by toggling his target, he wants to keep the damage balance on both eyes, to where, because once he kills one, the head just becomes much more violent, it spins around a lot more, and it's harder to hit him. You notice even him wailing on him here, he's doing absolute chip damage, so it just takes forever. Now what makes this fight scary is right about this point, he's gonna start swinging his head, which is fine for right now. It's more just hindering you. He's about to spit out enemies. It's random whether he'll spit out fat bandits, which you want to see him spit out, or if he's going to spit out other enemies that can just target onto Sora, hit him from out of the air. He can spawn both air soldiers and... He's not, until this health bar is gone, there is nothing to clap about.
So most certainly he has spit out at least bandits. So very shortly be attacking us because they can actually. But the fight is almost over.
No, it's not.
It's almost.
Not almost over.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
That was pretty much a
Those were
perfect fight.
the 2 worst fights, and he did them both incredibly well.
Yeah, so very lucky so far in this world, and that's awesome.
That
Yeah,
was
very
all
lucky
skill.
and great execution on Zetris there, especially on almost falling off. You have to have a lot of composure there to be able to control himself to stay up on that nose. With that, we get a little break here. Let's go ahead and read a couple of donations, and then we're going to have the 2 Jafar fights, which, while are not as scary to die to, still you can lose a lot of time to.
Yeah, we've got $50 from Fram K. Shoutouts to my boy for killing it as Gaston. Much love from your old friends in the Score Hero community. Can't wait to see that Ratchet and Clank run and kill those animals. We have $10 from Anonymous. After all the singing, this event should be called Acapella Done Quick. Awesome job, everyone. Keep up the good work. And there's tons more donations about how awesome all you guys' songs are. I can't possibly get through them all.
These load screens will see about that.
So the Jafar fights aren't as random or really random at all, apart from Aladdin's damage. So, but they are very precise and very easy to mess up. So, at both fights, the main mechanic is dealing the right amount of damage so that he doesn't go to accumulated phase too early. So on the first phase of Jafar 1, he's going to get him to just under a bar and then stop attacking. Because if he does more than that, Jafar's next phases will go worse. He won't want to stick around as much.
The trick to the opening of this fight is that blizzard right there. He does 2 hits and then the blizzard, very specifically to activate that move where he creates a magic shadow. Really what it does is just gives you more time to hit him, which reduces this fight to possibly 2 cycles. He's holding off on damage specifically, so that way when he actually reappears on another platform, he'll do that same move where he does the ground shockwave, which gives you the most amount of time to deal damage. So he's doing the same exact thing as before.
Awesome. Aladdin is nice.
Now Aladdin is about as strong as Sora right now, so you need him to do lots of damage in order to make this a 2 cycle.
Oh, he died.
He might make it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that
he's-
crit-
That is exceptionally hard to pull off. Good
That's-
stuff, dude.
Aladdin wasn't there to help him, so that just meant Zetris had to be that much quicker with his short air combos, so that was very impressive.
Yeah, it's very tricky to short hop these aerial combos really fast because they really have to be done fairly precise to be able to do. You'll see on another boss fight later exactly what we mean.
So again, this fight is kind of health-based. Depending on the amount of health Jafar has left, it will change Iago's flying pattern. Because right now, like, the main target is the lance Iago's carrying. So if you do too much damage in this first part, Iago will start a pattern that makes him incredibly hard to hit. So he's going to be holding back on damage a little bit. Let's keep him above 1.5 bars until Jafar throws his second rock. So right now, I would run away.
And yes, you
call
can
Aladdin away.
Blizzard Jafar. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay. I think his pattern got a bit messed up. Should be fine. Aladdin's doing it for you. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So now Iago's going to go fly and land on a platform, which will give Zedrus a lot of time to hit him. And hopefully kill him there.
Unfortunately, Aladdin died, so he's going to have to revive him and try to get him to spawn over here.
I do by messing with the camera. I think there he is already.
There he is.
What?
sort of-
I never
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
If you keep your party members off the screen and you try to call them over, they get over there like insanely fast.
And Aladdin actually
Nice.
made it on the platform quickly. He struggles with that.
Yeah, he can literally just jump at the platform and never
You need to
make
take
it.
lessons from Clayton because this guy can't jump at all.
This is good damage.
I say Aladdin's doing a lot of damage right now.
So now he can
What's
pretty much
nice, a
win
lot of
with
people don't know.
Blizzard.
Yeah. This should get him.
Nice.
That was an amazing aggro.
Very good.
All right, so coming up next, we actually have another duet, but I want to show you guys. It's going to be a whole new world. We thought it'd be good during this magical carpet ride we're about to have right here. Believe it or not, this is another segment where if you just die, the game doesn't care, and it'll just progress the story anyways. It's actually hard to get the quickest kill possible. He wants to die in the boulder section. See, right there, it's actually really precise to run into the boulders. The game doesn't want to kill you, but you have to try really hard. So now, even missing that one boulder, he's going to have to waste just a few seconds and get hit by one of the fire pillars coming up. But again, this is something that's in Cage 1 original as well. So with that, let's hand it over to Bloody Biscuits. And where is the other mic? Yo! Okay, so yes, let's hit.
Hello?
Is she on?
Oh,
okay,
hi.
there.
Okay.
Whole new world. Bloody Biscuits Kung Fu.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your
things
breath,
to
it gets
see.
better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I
whole
used to
new
be. Every turn a surprise.
With new horizons
Every
to
moment red
pursue.
letter.
I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world.
A whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
A thrilling
A
chase
wondrous place for you and me.
All right, That was awesome. And with our final song coming in whatever place it was, it was actually fifth place. All right, bam. Coming in fifth place, we have got the lovely man himself, Zem. What? Okay, that makes sense. He needs a phone. Zem will be singing Go the Distance from Hercules. Thank you all so much for your generosity and all the donation dollars.
Quick shout out. This one goes out to Tyler McAllimore. Good buddy of mine. Don't worry about it. I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a great warm welcome will be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I will find my way. I can go the distance. I'll be there someday. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. I would go most anywhere to feel like I belong. I am on my way. I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Somehow I'll be strong. I know every mile will be worth my while. I would go most anywhere to find where I belong. I will beat the odds. I can go the distance. I will face the world, fearless, proud, and strong. I will please the gods. I can go the distance till I find my hero's welcome right where I
belong. Good luck on Chamber 3 skip. This is really hard. He's gonna try it. Let's see what happens. That's fine.
It saves like 10 seconds, I believe.
Jayhawks found that one of our RTA members found a couple weeks back, and it's very precise. It's only maybe 1 or 2 pixels. You have to stand there to not bonk or just fall off the platform. But effectively what's happening is when you go through that first door, it spits you out, but it actually spits you out really high, so you can actually swing back into it, landing inside of there, and then jumping from there to another platform that you're not supposed to be able to get to, saving about, like we said, 10 to 12 seconds, somewhere in there.
So, fun fact about Monstro is that he will always show up in this version when you first encounter him, but you can control where he is. He can be up towards Halloween Town or Atlantica, and we purposely spawn him here because we only do Halloween Town. We don't do Atlantica in this run. And upcoming we have the Parasite Cage 1 boss, and basically we have a stun lock that we try to attempt to do the whole fight on the boss, but our party members love to ruin it very consistently.
Keyword is attempt.
So every time he gets that finisher and stagger, it means it's working, but if, like Dolan right there, probably screwed it up.
Oh, got a little lucky there that it re-staggered him, but
messed
he
it
can
up
also
again,
break
though.
out whenever he wants.
Well, Donald did him again.
Good adaptation. That was good.
So those combos have to be relatively fast. You can't just like kind of high jump and attack. You have to do shore hop aerial combos very fast. So it's very
celebrate
precise.
our acquaintance.
Now this is actually called Zetris Jump coming up here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zetris found this, and it saves another handful of seconds, maybe 10 seconds or so, to just, instead of going up and around that they intend for you to do with high jump, it Instead, he's just going to roll up on this little bone that's on the wall and then jump from there and get up to the throat of Monstro, saving about 10 seconds.
Speaking of high jump, he just put high jump on.
He just put high jump
Yeah,
on.
he
Got it
also
from that chest.
equipped counterattack, combo plus, and
Slap
slap shot. Yes.
Slap shot.
So that was Zetra's jump. Got it perfectly.
I think that was a 1 second time saver found by Bloody, actually. So good job. Hey.
So
Hey,
we
every
have,
little bit helps.
yet again, the Parasite cage fight. It's a little bit different this time because this time you can actually knock him down. And you don't want that to happen, but once again, your party members are determined to let that happen. They will do everything in their power to try to ruin this fight for you.
This
But if
actually
they-
becomes one of my favorite fights in the entire run. If Zetrus is fast enough with his jump combos, he can just keep him continuously staggered. That's pretty much a scripted way that he's always going to fall down. No one's ever done it in one combo, from what I know. Now at this point, he just has to try to get him back into the loop.
And also hope that Donald, yes,
Yeah,
goes
Donald.
away.
Yeah, good.
And
Now from here,
oh,
if
he's
Goofy
there.
doesn't screw anything up and if Zetrus doesn't mess it up, he can actually keep his momentum up. This is actually a relatively tight window for getting
Oh, he's
in
stuck.
all
He's
these.
stuck.
Yo, Goofy, good job.
Goofy,
Keep doing it.
Goofy's bad.
So yeah, we can just keep him in this stun lock if your party members don't interfere or if Zetrus doesn't drop the combo.
And this is some intense comboing. Oh,
It's okay.
yeah, it's pretty ridiculous to keep him stunned the entire time.
Yeah, that's really hard to do. He's close to dead, though, so it isn't too much of a time loss. Once again, abusing iframes there from dodge roll. So very nice. It is much harder than it looks to keep that combo going the entire time. That's a very good feeling when you only drop it once.
Yeah, like it looked like he didn't do anything wrong, but it's just very slightly slow, and then he breaks out.
So with that, I think it's worth it to kick it over to Riz if you want to explain just this. It's the last major route change of this category,
Oh.
I feel like.
Yeah, so we're actually going to go out of our way back to Traverstown to pick up a new Keyblade from Pinocchio and Geppetto called the Wishing Star. And the Wishing Star is kind of a unique Keyblade. It has a special ability where all finishers will always be critical. And this also includes the ability like Slash Shot is also always going to be a critical. So with that combo plus and all that, your ground combos are going to do an insane amount of damage. And actually end up out damaging even much later Keyblades like Fairy Harp. Just because of all the critical hits you're landing.
So, how much time do you think it takes to get the Wishing Star?
It's about a minute.
Okay.
About a minute.
And you can still like save that and the Wishing Star.
Yeah.
Just shows like how amazing Wishing Star is compared to every other Keyblade we have at this point.
Yeah, and even every other Keyblade we're going to get.
Yeah, Neverland used to be a nightmare of a world in Proud, but yeah, Wishing Star speeds it up immensely and makes it much safer.
I could be wrong. There might even be strats involved with Wishing Star and Hollow Bastion, like as late as that on
Yes.
the lift, getting like defeating the wizards. Yeah, that's just how good the Wishing Star is. So it's pretty good idea to go out of the way and get this thing.
It does come with a downside that we'll see eventually, though. But in the meantime, yes, we're grabbing Wishing Star, so probably time for donations.
I guess the only thing to really note here is he's equipping the Wishing Star after he gets it, and the Ray of Light, which is just giving him another MP. A mechanic we maybe didn't quite get into is that MP, your magic attacks are actually scaled based on, or not scaled, I'm stupid, but are based on how much your max MP is. So if you have 4 MP, your blizzards and your fires and stuff will actually be stronger than if you have 3 MP. So having that 4th Ray of Light, we can now spam more and they're more powerful, which you'll see us here in the Halloween Town mob fights are going to use a lot of magic. But with that, yeah, let's go ahead and read a couple donations.
All right, we have $20 from a family of puppies. Hi there, I've been watching AGDQ for the past few years and this is my first time donating. I'm happy to donate to a great cause and great run. The nostalgia overload from Kingdom Hearts is top notch. Also, this donation will be going towards dropping the frames for saving the animals. We have a $50 donation from Anonymous. donating this extra $50 for that amazing singing. Good luck on the run, and put this money towards Runner's Choice.
Let's actually go. I forgot. There actually is one element here that's very new to Proud Mode. It normally was just a beginner thing. I don't know who here wants to explain the Dumbo. The Dumbo, you see. While Zetris is here, he's going to get the Water Gleam, which is another summon gem that will be turned into Dumbo later on. I'm not going to get into exactly why we're grabbing it, but it's got some pretty interesting uses later in the run. But we go ahead and grab it here. The thing about Monstro that's actually interesting is that it's possible that if we just flew through this gummy mission that he would not have shown up, but it's faster to just warp to him, except that you're going to get eaten no matter what in 1.5, and then we'll fly from here to Halloween Town, making this probably the shortest gummy mission in the run. Yeah, it's in original KH1. It was actually possible that Monstro doesn't show up, which gave you a free, like, I don't know, 45 seconds or something stupid advantage over everybody else. It was unlikely, but it could happen. I think we're all pretty grateful that it just automatically gets us every time, especially now that we pick up that summon gem. But yeah, if you want to read one more donation before we get into Halloween Town.
Yeah, sure. We have $50 from Lethal. Find singing on a whole new world. Sucker for that song. Animals all day. Frames dead.
So thanks to Wishing Star, Halloween Town is going to be a little bit more lenient on us. So it's not nearly as bad as it used to be, but we still have to be very careful because since it's Proud Mode, we can still get two-shot really easily on most fights and most attacks.
Wishing Star has really made this part of the run much better.
Yeah, it was common when we would do runs of Proud Mode that we just dreaded the middle. We dreaded going through Halloween Town and Neverland. And this has made both Halloween Town and Neverland, like Mr. said, much more bearable. It still can be done. Zetris still has to react to quite a few things that can go wrong, especially on the aspects of this build in particular, but it's still much better. So shoutouts to Riz for saying you're stupid and back in the route.
Yeah, all the fights here are pretty brutal for actually, I think all of them. Something can go wrong in all of them that just destroys you. But the boss fights especially are pretty scary here. Also, he just picked up power that we'll be using. There are it does actually use them, but we don't do that for defense. It doesn't help keep us alive at all, so it's not. In this menu, he's just gonna steal Jack's ethers because he doesn't need them, and put 4 on himself, and then use the power up. A lot of this world is back and forth to that lab, so you have to get used to it, but we pretty much go do a fight, come back, go do a fight, come back, and then we're off to the rest of the world.
This is where you get to see why we equipped the Ray of Light.
That was really good luck, too.
Yeah, those shadows can still troll pretty well there.
These are the enemies you have to be very careful of. They are pretty much like power wells. They're very difficult to land combos on, and they can jump and attack you and kill you too.
So we tried to jump up there and grab the MP orbs to give him an extra one, but didn't quite make it. They were just out of the reach.
Obviously, it's random where the MP bubbles will fall, so he did what he could. I think it was smart going for the 2 instead of the 1 on the ground.
Yeah.
We don't bring Jack with us because, in Zetris' words, he sucks.
That ghost was out for blood. I'm just
He
saying.
hit those ghosts just to get that extra MP. Since Ether's only refill 3 and he has a max of 4.
Yeah, this world has pretty strict MP management. If we're off just a little bit, it could slow down strats or even ruin them. Fortunately, thanks to the Maleficent Elixir strat, we do have extra ethers now in the route, most likely, if we don't have to waste them.
Mist, if you want to go ahead and explain this next room with the graveyard.
Okay, so I was bored one day, and I was doing a level 1 playthrough of this game, and I figured, you know, the way this game works with a lot of its enemies is it wants you to be on a certain part of the room, and I realized that you could kill the current enemies coming up. I bet we're gonna get white mushrooms.
Oh god.
And when
Still
you,
good.
yeah, but you can kill the white knights that are.
Ah!
Okay, I'm done.
Alright, well,
The load was bad. This is actually slower, but not necessarily not preferred. This does allow Zetris to have his MP basically completely charged. I still want you to explain what you did.
So there are 3 white knights that spawn in that room. You can kill the first one that's right next to the entrance there, and then you can use fire to kill the other 2 from a distance. And if you actually, it's very precise, but you can jump across the little gravestones there. And if you can get across the gravestones very, you know, precisely, you can reach another part of the screen where the enemies actually don't spawn. There's a wave of circles that are meant to spawn in that room if you're in the middle there, but you can bypass that, and right when the other white knights at the very end of the screen are meant to spawn, you can just get into the coffin right there, so you can bypass having to fight 2 more waves of enemies than usual.
Those fires he's doing on those platforms are pretty precise too, and very finicky to actually hit them.
those are the hardest boss in the game for me. Those platforms.
Oh, Waterfall Cavern was.
Those platforms are pretty bad, man.
Yeah, at least in that room, there weren't enemies around him that could have taken it away. I mean, there could have been if there was a bad spawn. But upcoming here, this is another really bad piece of RNG that can waste some time. He has to hit that same little platform with a fire while enemies are surrounding him, and then he can go on the other side. Possibly black mushrooms can spawn, and it's not worth it to try to kill the black mushrooms on Proud. In that event, he'll just have to hit it with fire again, back to the other side, hit it with fire again, and go back that way. Then he's going to be down a lot of MP, which he wants to use again, just like he's done on these other fights, in order to kill off the enemies. Good thing is he is at a good MP level because he got the white mushrooms, so that's why it's debatable which one you would rather have. But we'll see what happens here. He can tell if he got the black mushrooms or not, depending on an audio cue. If you hear a spawn, then he got the white knights in the front row, and that's good.
Nice.
Nice.
All skill.
So we want to keep these guys quartered here because if
Yeah,
we...
that was actually a really
Yeah, that
good
was
fight.
That was
Just throwing that out there.
if we go anywhere else on this map, we'll just end up spawning more enemies. So we really want to keep those enemies quartered so that they don't spread out and cause us to spawn more enemies.
so from here we don't need Ray of Light anymore for this world, so I'm gonna switch it back to Brave Warrior, which will give us more strength.
We have a fun little trick that sort of just evolved with the initial find that we had here.
Yes, basically the game wants you to either kill these enemies or, as we used to do, despawn them, and then we can go through the door because we can't activate the reaction command without all the enemies being gone. However, someone screwed around a bit and found an interesting way to just skip all that.
Hello.
We call these community jumps.
It was just a group of a bunch of people one day just jumping up and down this thing and finding the most optimal way to get up.
Going for it.
Nice.
That's a really risky one at the end.
Saves 1 second.
You don't want to fall down.
Unfortunately, he will have to do all of that again if he dies to these idiots.
This is a very difficult fight. You have 3 bosses that can kill you in roughly 2 hits. We target Barrel first. He has the most HP and is hard to attack, so...
Okay.
Very nice.
That was
So
good.
Barrel's
He
effectively
both
dead.
parried one and then had iframes to the other one. So that's the scariest part, is killing one of those 2.
When you're down to the last
Okay,
2,
and now
it's
he's down to
much
the
better, of course. Lock manages to
He
hit you.
needs to be safe with these guys, because even with the Wishing Star doing a ton of damage. I love this fight now.
That was
Very
a very good
That
fight.
was amazing.
Next we have Oogie 1, and that fight used to be very consistent, but now it's not because we have a faster strat, but it's very scary because we have to get all the dice Dice Reflect multiple times to make it faster.
Dice Reflect is one of the hardest things to execute in the entire run. And what makes it worse on Proud Mode is that the dice can hurt you, and they actually two-shot you. So if Zetrus whiffs, then they will roll into them, and it's random how they'll fall, then spread out on the ground, what they can spawn. It can be a pretty
It's
tough fight.
every part of it. It's random how he throws them even.
And on top of that, the Wishing Star's range is very short.
So here we have to dispose of the first two gargoyles that spawn to be able to trap Boogie.
Good dodge.
He's got to be careful because if he's throwing down exploding dice, you can't let him get out of your sight.
Nice.
Here he traps his party members out of the fight because you can only hit Oogie 10 times in a row. They count with their hits as well, and they do not deal a lot of damage. And we actually want to do very specific amounts of damage too. Dice Reflect.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice. That's one.
That's one.
He's got one more to go out.
God, Oogie.
But he cannot let Dollar
No!
So,
And that's all created by Dom and Goofy just not leaving.
Yeah, it's very easy to trap them where you want them, but not when you're trying to keep your party members away from you because they just keep following you.
it didn't help that Oogie was running back and forth either. That's the worst thing you can do. Oh
Nice.
my goodness.
Double.
I probably could have gone for that, but
It was
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Come on, man. There you
There you
go.
go.
And the
only
scary thing is
had
you
to
don't
do
have
it.
unlimited time
Yeah,
to do
he had
that.
to do it there.
I think you have like a roughly 17 seconds to actually make a switch.
So he doesn't want to do too much damage to him. That's why he did that air combo. Because depending on what happens here, if he misses a Dice Reflect and he did too much damage, he'll heal himself.
Aw, man. Ah, so close.
He actually would have had it if the dice didn't spin Sora around. I don't care. You still got 2 dice reflects.
Just getting one of those is insanely difficult.
Also dies. Oh. There we go.
So from here, he wants to reset his combo every time and just do 10 slap shots. Because again, with the Wishing Star, all of them do crit damage.
He's a little off on damage, so
I'm not. I'm just gonna throw it.
He did have the bonus ether that he didn't have to use because of white mushrooms, so this actually isn't that bad. Very nice. Yeah, those dice reflects are stupid hard, and he hit 8 out of 9 back at him, so that's still very good. It's unfortunate, but
Oogie was determined.
Yeah.
He was so determined.
that's
to
why we
ruin
hate the
that.
fight now. But it doesn't get any better. Now we have Oogie Manor, which actually this is another one of those fights you can want, but
Actually used to be part of the old route when we got a flare G in this world.
yeah, we don't do that. We just go right into it now. This is a very terrifying fight. Fire flying everywhere half the time. Enemies, they all two-shot you. When you destroy, there's basically, I believe, 7 orbs, and when you destroy 3 of them, that starts spawning enemies next to the orbs, which makes it even harder. And to be fast, we do risk that, because we could avoid it by bringing these all to like roughly 1 HP and then hitting them in 1 hit each, or destroying them. But Zetrus is just going to destroy them immediately to go fast.
you have to be very fast throughout this fight to just reduce the amount of time that you could get sniped by stuff. Again, this fight's going to get much... Oogie's going to get a lot more aggressive now that he's killed 3 of the orbs. There are 7 total. Obviously, those guys are terrifying, so the usage of stop is warranted.
So now that they're stopped, they're not going to catch up to you right away here, so that gives us enough time to safely get rid of them. And then we're coming up on the order first one to deal with because there's a grabbable ledge. We'll save that for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can
Like
see,
we said, this is
Relentless.
by far the worst orb on the manor. Also, these gargoyles are doing work. And again, ground combos are preferred because that's what's going to give you the crit pluses with slap shot and with the finisher.
They're very aggressive right now.
Very nice adaptation.
Oh my goodness.
The first time I got hit next to that 6th orb, I would have just rolled off the mansion.
That's what I do,
Peace.
I would have several step attack and died instantly.
Yeah, you really have to know when to back off, which Zetras did the first time and went to another orb to kind of like, let the attacks kind of disperse.
I think one of the greatest qualities of speedrunning in this category is just knowing how to keep your cool in really terrifying situations. I think that's part of why Zetras has record, is just knowing what to do in any situation.
Now, coming up is possibly one of the most, if not the most notorious part about this game as a speedrun. In order to progress in this game, we need to defeat Hook in Neverland and then get the navigation gummy piece in order to this game. But since we have only completed Monstro and Halloween Town, and we have not completed the third world, which is Neverland, there is roughly a 1 in 4 chance that Neverland will not spawn on the first attempt to drive here.
And even though those odds are in our favor, we do seem to miss it half the time.
It doesn't feel like 1 out of 4.
Some days it feels like
We did just get the pumpkin head keyblade, but we don't equip it. It's bad. It's terrible.
It's an immediate 55 seconds if you do miss the ship, which, I mean, on proud mode, it's almost the equivalent of a death, but it's just kind of a nasty time loss in any situation, just to kind of be left up to luck.
We've tried very hard to find a way to trigger at the spawn, but we've come up with nothing.
Yeah, Bloody, who just talked right here, he actually has the world record in beginner, which is a much tighter category in its execution. If you miss hook ship, I'm assuming you just automatically reset at this point. Yeah. There's just not, 55 seconds. That's the total amount of time he's trying to pull out of the run, if even that much.
Even
so.
in proud, though, that's pretty much a
Oh, no,
reset now.
It's become a much tighter thing, even on the higher difficulties. Yeah, we'll know here pretty soon whether or not we're going to get a fade out.
And it's terrible because you can actually miss it multiple times in a row.
I forget, what's the record for how many misses in one run?
Like 7.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Here we go. Yeah.
Nice.
Good job. All skill.
Great execution.
This world used to be really awful, but it's much more manageable with Wishing Star, but it's still very dangerous. Anti-Sora and Hook both hit extremely hard, and the cool part about this world is there's actually an interesting movement tech that we attempted to get to the fights.
Yeah, all 3 of these first few rooms have a little bit of movement tech to actually get a little faster. There's actually a little bit of load screens here, so if you want to read a donation, go for it.
Yeah. We have $100 from Cody Paith. I absolutely love Kingdom Hearts. It was a huge part of my life growing up and introduced me to so many great online communities where I made a ton of good friends. Thanks for everything you guys are doing. Put this money towards Spike Vegeta's choice. All right. Which, do you know what your choice is?
That's a great question. I will think of that. Actually, Toji sucks for Cecil.
Yeah. All right, you got it.
100% Toji sucks.
Nice.
Very nice. That's 1 out of 3.
You had to attack at the very apex of his jump to be able to land on that.
There's 2 out of 3. Just shooting that fire, making sure Sora wouldn't grab the ledge.
And this one, all you have to do is get close to loading zone. And
3 for
it
3.
loads.
Nice.
So he didn't even have to grab the weapon. There's another one in the next room, but I don't know if it's it doesn't seem consistent, so I don't think most of us bother.
So both bosses in this world, Antisora and Hook, are, if you were alone fighting them one-on-one, they would be fine. But in both fights, in Antisora it's party members, and in Hook it's this battleship flying around. Those elements make these fights terrifying and just really random.
This is, any of you familiar with Super Mario RPG speedrunning, they talk about there's like 14 reasons why Zardragon is the worst fight in the game. There's probably a similar list you could write for Antisora, between the terrain being absolutely awful. You're in a room with a freaking desk in the middle of it. You got this stupid wall. You got beds on either side. Donald and Goofy are both idiots. He can break out pretty much whenever he wants to do that.
They basically pushed Antisora into Zetris so that the attack connected. That's how bad your party members are.
I'm helping. Oh boy.
So we do have a loop on this guy, but not for the first phase. He does not have a loop in the first phase. We just have to react to whatever he does, which is unfortunate because party members will, like we said, just ruin the fight.
Once he gets him down to about 1 point, somewhere between like 1.2 and 1.45 bars of health, he can actually get him into a loop, which he's going to try to throw out an aerial hit because it has a lot of damage frames in order to hit him coming up when he doesn't have it's not a big window, and then get off 5 hits using 4 hits on the ground and then repeatedly blow him up. But first we got to get there.
And as you can see, they're pushing Antisora around. And then he can do that.
No manners at all.
This fight is debatably worse on beginner and standard just because they will not die.
Standard, definitely. Beginner, you do so much damage, it's not really as bad.
So you really want your party members to die here like they are now so that they don't interfere with the fight. So that's one variable out of the equation at the moment.
Now at this point in the fight, what will happen to Antisora is he'll blow up after a full combo or 5 hits in a row, and then do an attack and then attempt to go underground. And what he does right there is he does an aerial hit, which has a really, really small frame window for you to actually stun him. And that's the goal of this entire fight, is just continue to loop him like that the entire fight and just continue to do combos.
As you can see, very easy for him to just get out of it if you're not precise.
And the thing about those copies is that they deal as much damage as regular Antisaurs, so you want to throw out that blizzard to get rid of them. This loop is incredibly difficult to do, and there's actually even harder variations of it you can do.
So imagine before Wishing Star, this would take double the time.
Nice.
That fight used to be basically twice as long with the same strat, but Wishing Star, unfortunately, it's finicky there. So here he's stealing all of Peter Pan's ethers and putting on Raven's Claw that was dissipate.
And again, he shot a fire there just so Sora would not automatically grab the ledge.
So before we look, we do have an upgrade, we call it, where there's tons of enemies we have to kill. And we can kind of hang out but for now he's just going to basically use it. And then you'll see our first instance of gravity. Putting out Nolan. These enemies are pretty difficult to land combos on.
They love to just fly everywhere except to you.
And your party. And
And you don't want to see that.
fortunately, there was enough other enemies where Zetris could just go after others while that one stopped. So they don't die until stop runs out.
Yep.
Yo, Peter.
I'm helping!
So the reason why Zetris actually elected to pull back and fire him from there, this last wave of enemies will not spawn until you are on the ship or over the ship.
So gravity is like percentage based roughly, and it destroyed that ship because we stopped in through 2 gravities on it, and one combo just annihilates it. And you'll be seeing more gravities throughout the run.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mob fights in a lot of ways can be the toughest fights. Go ahead, Biz.
Yet another fight you can walk away from. You can just waltz out of this fight with Hook. And that's what Zetris is going to do as a safety strat, so that if he were to die, he doesn't have to do that fight over again.
Oh, I was waiting for him to not. Screw you guys.
We talked about it. I wasn't.
It's a little like 8 to 10 second safety to not have to go back and do that entire pre-hook fight.
This fight would be really fun if there weren't a battleship in your blind spot constantly that can help two-shot you with Hook. And that's the #1 problem with this fight.
I'm going to
That-
give... Oh, go ahead.
That battleship right there, it has a bunch of different attacks it can do at any time.
This fight became much better with the works of Riz. This has become like his baby.
We want to make sure we try not to knock Hook off this ship either, because that wastes a ton of time for him to jump back on.
What?
And
So actually look at his health bar. He actually is doing chip damage with these 3 sliding dashes in addition to deflecting them.
So a key to getting more damage is stopping him while he's staggered. You can't do... Oh, God.
the other thing the battleship can do is actually heal Hook. But
Yeah.
So far, yeah.
Oh my God.
My God.
Yo! The jukes are real.
This is fine.
This is... Oh,
Oh my god. Yeah!
Girl, you greedy. Oh my god.
That ship was out for revenge.
A lot of us have learned that if you ever get hit in the Hook fight, you just immediately back away and heal. Like 9 out of 10 times you'll die if you try to attack when you get hit.
And did you explain that if you kill one ship, another one just respawns?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we don't kill the
You
ship.
can't kill it, you can't stop it. It's there forever.
So here we have a little stretch. The big thing he's going to be doing is going to be grabbing the Flare G right here, which is yet another gummy piece that's just going to make our ship go faster. By the end of this run, our ship is just going to be flying past crap. Literally, but also really fast. Also, hitting these is impossible. Good
Third
job.
hardest boss right there.
There is a menu coming up, but we have a couple of cutscene skips right here. We want to get in a quick donation.
Yeah, we've got a $50 donation from Royalty Complex. Hi, long-time watcher, first-time donator. I just want to say you guys are doing a wonderful job with this Kingdom Hearts speedrun, and it's making me want to get into speedrunning Birth by Sleep. Shout out to the video game series that progressively makes less sense plot-wise with each installment, but still continues to be endless fun. Here's to a great rest of the run. Good luck, Zetris.
Can we actually get a donation total right now?
Yeah, sure. We are at $183,000, $183,329.
I think that's up like 12,000 since we started, so thank you all so much for the generosity.
So that boss we kind of just left a while ago in the run. We have to go back and beat it to progress. So
Oh
that's,
yeah, opposite armor.
yeah, that
Forgot
thing.
about him.
BT dubs.
But here he's equipping Fairy Harp, a new Keyblade. He gives us +2 MP. 1 MP. And then he equipped ours Arcanum, which is used quite a bit in this run. Also equips Glide now that we finally have it, and also customized Goofy a bit there for later on in the run.
So while at this point Wishing Star still technically does a little bit more damage than Fairy Harp, the extra MP from Fairy Harp is super important. So we're going to be mainly using this from now on until we get the next Keyblade.
Does it actually outdamage Fairy Harp in the air?
No,
No.
I don't. Well,
Because you're mostly using air in this.
well, for this fight,
Right.
but for like Riku.
Oh, sure. No
So-
doubt.
So he got the Water Gleam chest in Monstro way back when, and now he's coming back to Merlin's house to retrieve the summon that is Dumbo.
You'll see in the Hollow Bastion why we're getting Dumbo. For now, he just kind of sit in our pocket.
You want to go ahead and read maybe 2 more quick donations as we're just moving our way up to the bell tower?
Yeah. We have here $150 from Brett M. I have been enjoying these marathons for about 2 years now and have never decided to donate before, but I was just informed by my dad while watching this run that my grandfather has cancer. So please take my money so hopefully in the future people don't have to ever feel the way I feel now. Thanks for the donation and hope everything works out, buddy. We have $20 from Shy Ranger. I've literally never seen a missed hooks ship, and I'm donating because this run kept my streak going.
So interesting movement tech here, so we can skip going in the shop right here, so we can go straight to the bell tower. Here we pretty much just throw out our new ability R's, which is a limit, and hope for the best. That is a fine fight.
That was a fireball.
I thought, what happened?
Yeah, that could go way worse. They can like fall off the bell tower or just stay down there or despawn and respawn.
The kind of properties of Ars Arcanum are limit there is that the first half of it, you have complete iframes. It will always come out. That will get to finish. But after that, you get a series of, is it 6 or 7 bashes total? I think it's 7, and we generally will only do 6 of them because there's really bad recovery on the 7th one. But you don't have iframes from there, so you can be interrupted. So that's something to keep in mind as we go on to later fights in the run.
So because we saved this until now, we are way over leveled. The game did not intend you to wait this long to fight
Nice.
opposite
How does
armor.
that work?
So, making a spike. You just have to reduce the health of one of his limbs to get him to knock over, and end that part of the fight. And there he always starts off with an attack that you can guard and go right into ours.
This is pretty much similar to the guard armor fight. We're just trying to destroy the parts and hope he doesn't split, but this happens sometimes. It's not a big deal either way, just a little bit of time loss. And this is, once again, yet another fight you can accidentally walk out of. Like, there's a door over there, and if you accidentally walk into it, the fight will have to be restarted.
Luckily, though, you're not allowed to enter loading while locked on. So you stay locked on to the boss, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
And the damage will start once his head comes back with his body. Yep. And there's the fight. The most epic of final poses.
So now we finally get the arrow spell, which we will definitely be using a little bit later on. It is, or even Prince.
I would actually like to ask Riz, did you ever come up with an estimation of how much slower early arrow would be for someone who maybe wanted to get into this run, but wanted to be a lot safer?
I mean, it's at least a minute. I haven't looked into it very much lately. Main problem is that option armor is just like that.
Right.
So
It's the difference between being level like 13 and being level like 3. So that's 20 levels worth of strength, defense, all sorts of things that you're missing out on. But it does make the mid-game, which I personally consider to be the hardest part, it does make it much safer, especially stealth-wise, Bogeyman or Tiger concept. But with that, I think we're just going to go through a couple more menus and taking another gummy ship mission on our way, starting with Hollow Bastion 1. A lot of kind of the fan favorite world for a lot of people. It's what hooked me to the game. So let's go ahead and kick it over to Annihilator and read off a couple donations for a few minutes.
Yeah, you got it. We have $50 from Kuwait. This is the 4th GDQ event I watched Kingdom Hearts being run, and I started the tradition of donating $50 every time, so I'll keep it up. I used to run the beginner category of this game, so I know how the RNG can mess up a good run. Keep up the great run, Zetris. Money goes to his choice, and let the hook shit be with you. We have $20 from Akawabora. Absolutely had no idea you could play Kingdom Hearts, my favorite game, like this. Enjoying this, and here's the stamping out losing so many great people. Thanks for the show.
And actually, sorry, there was one thing I forgot, actually. So depending on your end game timer, whether it starts with the 2-hour mark, 3-hour mark, 4-hour mark, etc., there's actually going to be a different item that you can get in this tower. At both the 2-hour mark and the 4-hour mark, you can get a power. It just so happens that on Proud Mode, if you're actually on a God run, you can get here too early. But I don't think that's quite happened yet.
I think Zetris explained to me yesterday that with the Dumbo route, we no longer probably will ever be here too early, so it should be all right.
Oh, for sure. And with that, sorry, you can go back to donations.
Oh, that's all right. We have $20 from Anonymous saying, cancer sucks. I will assume you are good at this game based on the people clapping when you do things. I don't know, I think he's pretty good.
All right.
Woo!
One other quick thing I'll just say right here is that because we took all the armor off of our ship, while we can't get one shot by anything in the regular run, or just like in the worlds and stuff, you can actually get one shot here. Like this gigantic wall coming up, if we just flew into it, we would die. So just something to keep in mind that the gummy ships are actually kind of scary here in the late game. This wall can one-shot you. A lot of enemies coming from behind can one-shot you just off-screen. Real cheap, real good deal.
And when he gets the last pieces of his gummy ship on, they get even scarier because you're going ludicrous speed.
Yeah, you'll basically go twice as fast as this, past all these enemies, like what feels like almost instantly when we boost through them. So we really have to be like precise with moving around to make sure we don't just crash into something that one-shots us.
Yeah, like you'll see some enemies come up from behind here pretty soon that if they hit you, they would one-shot you. But if you know how to move, it's consistent to make sure they don't hit you. Yeah, those guys, yeah, one-shots.
It's terrifying seeing it every time. Oh my goodness.
As long as you stay still or move down left, you'll avoid them. But if you move, up, right, you'll get snagged by them and just die.
It's still scary.
Yes.
We have a $20 donation from Alex is okay saying shout-outs to Bloody Biscuits for apparently knowing all of the Disney songs by heart and not having to read the lyrics off a phone.
That was the most impressive part to me. Waterfall Heights. What is it called?
Rising Falls.
Rising Falls. I'm going to call it Waterfall Heights. I can't read Japanese. All right.